Naz, I do want to ask you about the Calgary Flames. That's going to be a lot of this interview and this conversation, but I want to start by talking about one of the most meaningful Stanley Cup celebrations we've ever seen. And, you made the decision to bring the Stanley Cup to a mosque. The way that you handled yourself and your family as well, I think was a real example. And that was, that's new as far as Stanley Cup celebrations go. What's your life been like since then? We always hear about fans pulling athletes or managers or coaches aside and saying, thank you for winning this for our team or our city. But I'm guessing it might be more profound for you considering what you did with the cup.
For sure, yeah. Well, thank you for that. It's certainly, unique. And I feel like that's, what hits closest to home. It's just something that, never really has been done before. And, just trying to set a good example when I can. And, I know how much that means to the youth down there. And just, the setting that we had, there was, basically it was all kids. It was all kids in the parade and out front. So, it meant a lot for me to see that. And, that's always something I always like to incorporate my culture somehow.
You still getting the thank yous?
Of course.
Because you'll get them for a long time.
Yeah,
that now, right?
Of course. Well, I mean, you don't really get sick of hearing congratulations,
Yeah.
So that's, it's humbling, man. And just looking back and just, reminiscing every once in a while, it's something that, you're never going to forget.
What's the first thing you think about when you think about last year?
A Stanley Cup.
Is there a game that you remember or a moment that you remember?
Was there an overtime?
Yeah, well, that one, I mean, that's probably the easy one, right? That's the puck that's going on my wall for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think just, I'm thankful with the time it happened in my career, and just because, I really made sure to, really enjoy every single moment, and, kind of reiterate to myself, like, man, like, enjoy this, enjoy like the crowd and warm-ups, TV timeouts, like just the whole, everything that came with it. I think, it just kind of, at that stage of your career, I think you start to really, really, appreciate it. Whereas if you were to win it in your first, rookie season or second season. So, I'm thankful for that. And, that's something I'm proud of.
Do you look at the ring? Do you ever pull it out and look at it?
Absolutely. It's a piece of jewelry. I have to.
Is it an all the time thing?
No, it's not. It's tucked away somewhere safe. So I don't, I don't have a look at it too often, but, every once in a while I'll throw it on and have a glance in the mirror and just see what it looks like.
Suit and you wear the ring and you point.
Yeah, well, you guys know how it is, right? It's really, you're only gonna wear it for like a reunion or something. So, hey, anytime you're feeling a little bit down, you just have a little peek, and you just brings back a lot of great memories.
That's awesome.
The Calgary experience so far, how's it been for you?
It's been excellent. Nothing short of that. So the people have, embraced me, and the fans have welcomed me, and, I've adapted pretty well. I think, the cities between Denver and Calgary are very similar. In fact, they call them sister cities. So, I think that living situation kind of, eased my transition, and, I'm happy for that.
What did you think it was going to be like?
To play in Calgary?
Yeah.
I always expected it to be great. I've been there as a visiting player many, many times, and, got some distant family over there too. And I've always loved the city, and, great food, great restaurants. And, so that's something I can get behind.
I wanted to ask you, the team has changed its identity. Last year, they had that big scoring line that eliminated a lot of their problems. This year, it's a harder bit for the Flames to score. Mm-hmm. How has that sort of played itself out? Like, there have been big changes, and sometimes people take time to figure it out. Yeah. How do you think you guys are doing with it?
Well, that's a fair point. I think it's taken us a little longer than we'd hoped, but when there's that much change and it's so significant and it happens so quickly, it's almost, a bit of a shell shock for everyone involved, really. So, you got to go back to the drawing board and start fresh. And I think, we're really starting to catch on these last couple weeks, beat some good teams. Had a couple bumps in the road, of course, but we're still a team that, is more than capable of scoring. And, we got maybe one of the best goalie tandems in the league, and, we have great depth. So, I think hopefully that translates into some playoff success.
What did you think of Calgary when you played against them? Like when you were with Colorado, what were your thoughts on Calgary?
I thought they were a pesky team, tough to play against. And, it was hard to go into the Saddle Dome and win. You knew it wasn't going to be an easy night. But I always enjoyed it. That was, one of the places to see red. It's a unique arena. It's old, but it might be due for a new one sometime soon here. But
want to lobby for a new one here, make some headlines.
Yeah, hopefully. I got to start preaching about that to somebody. So, but it's just the vibe of the rink too. The Saddle Dome. It's just got a vintage vibe and reminds me of the rinks I used to go to when I was a kid.
It's we've talked about this before on the podcast. It's kind of a unique hockey player that can thrive in a Canadian market because you're a hockey player 24/7. There's no, I'm going to go out to lunch and I'm not a hockey player anymore. No, everyone knows, hey, look who's having lunch over there. You can't go anywhere without being identified as a member of, the local hockey team. You've always embraced that. Other players haven't. Some, there are some players we know have, a 7-team no trade list. That number 7 is very specific for a reason. What is it about playing in Canada that you enjoy?
I like how much they appreciate and acknowledge, what we do for a living. It's hard to do, and it's nice to get some respect and have people that admire it. So I think for me, just having them cheer you on. Of course, there's a lot of scrutiny that comes with it, and sometimes maybe not deserving, but at the end of the day, you got to go out there and you got to do your job no matter where you're playing. But for me, I'm Canadian. I like Canada, and I like how knowledgeable the fans are.
Last one, I guess, Nazem. I always wondered, the thing I loved watching you most about you playing is that there was always a little bit of I'm never going to be satisfied. No matter what happens to me, I'm never going to be satisfied.
Yeah.
After you won the Stanley Cup, were you worried that was going to go away at all?
Not really, no, because that's just who I am. It's there's no getting over that. It's just in my blood, and I think it's just I've always tried to be that type of person, and in doing so, I think it's led me on a path of success and gotten me ultimately where I want to go. So I think that drive and that motivation continues to push yourself forward, and you always want to improve. You don't want to stay stagnant. You always want to improve in life, in hockey, whatever the case may be. And, I think, that inner voice helps you get there.
Last one for me. While you were on your Stanley Cup run, your dad kind of became a rock star and a real celebrity. Do you have a word or two about Dad?
Yeah. Sammy was pumped. He was the most fired up I've ever seen him, I think. So, and that, he was proud. He was proud of me, and you could tell how emotional it was for him because, he didn't really, have that opportunity to kind of pursue what I've done, and he's kind of given me that chance. And he's always been a great mentor of mine and in my corner since day one, no matter good, bad, ugly, whatever the case may have been. So I wanted to make sure when I hoisted that thing, he was getting a shot to do it too.
It's awesome. Thanks so much for this.
All right,
Good luck
guys,
the rest of the way.